It's all in the name, or should I say, sub-name heading thing. Subheading? Gran Turismo, the real racing sim. "25 years after the series' inception, Gran Turismo 7 is here to grace our eyeballs with some of the most realistic in-game car models I've ever seen, millimeter-accurate racing tracks from around the world, and the most pulse-pounding racing I've ever played. From the get-go, it's clear that you need to tackle tracks in a certain scholarly way. You're meant to study the corners, memorize layouts, and look out for self-determined landmarks to know when to perfectly brake. It's as if you're acting as a real race car driver, studying the courses and conditions ahead before starting your engine. And if you don't pay attention or take the time to learn the track, you'll risk spinning out and going off the asphalt, incurring a harsh time penalty, point loss, and getting slowed to a crawl. I'll admit, at first this made the game feel slow and polite. You begin the game plodding along in reasonably priced and mid-powered cars with very few rewards in the form of currency or high-octane fun. It felt like I was just grinding the first few starter courses until I got to first place enough times to unlock a GT model, and got access to the faster speedways, where you can really get the ball rolling. You can, however, unlock these faster cars through microtransactions, some of which cost more than $40 of real-world currency. After many updates trying to fix this, like handing out 1 million credits to every player, it felt to me like the dev team was trying to placate the fan base, rather than fix or address the core problem. They may have some work to do yet, but personally I hope there are no more handouts, because to me that inadvertently takes away a sense of accomplishment from mastering the driving. Let me explain. There's no Forza-style option to rewind, you just have to restart the entire track and tackle each bend and straight with focus. In some longer endurance races, the stakes are high. You could be racing for more than 15 minutes, meaning a single mess up or bump towards the end has very intense emotional stakes. I physically jolted when I lost control of my vehicle. It's that consuming. Car handling is so realistic thanks to an all-new physics engine developed by real-world Gran Turismo champions and a team at Michelin Tires. Naturally, weather plays a big part as well. Rain is simulated accurately according to annual meteorological data for locations across Asia, Europe, and the Americas. This should all make it pretty clear that Gran Turismo is not an arcade racer. There aren't millions of tracks you'll only ever drive on once and forget about. This is a racer that demands practice, investment, and replaying races to the point of obsession. Sounds intense, right? But the payoff for all of this harsh realism is a true sense of accomplishment and a rewarding insight into the true star of the game, the cars. There's a real sense of wish fulfillment in GT7. Each car model is so indicative of its real-life counterpart. They each have their own weight, technical characteristics, and personality. As a car head myself, I can attest that the old Nissan bucket I bought handles exactly the same as my real-life car, stalling the same way up hills and handling back heavy when taking corners. It's a beautiful thing. This made it so much more exciting in the late game when you get faster, extremely powerful cars. There's a real sense of oomph that felt truly earned. After hours of saving, I finally got my dream car. The famous OG Tokyo Drifter, a '97 Nissan Skyline. I drove it for hours and learnt its quirks. It does drift, but it also has trouble in high-speed raceways, something I never would have imagined, known, or gotten to experience without buying a real-life car. The first few hours are all about easing you into this hardcore driving sim. The campaign is a crash course in the iconic cars, like a Hall of Fame walkthrough. Everything from Camaros and Mustangs to European coupes. Most missions unlocked from the cafe will see you racing across new maps to collect 3 iconic cars. Once you get all 3, you unlock a short movie which takes you through the history of those cars, and you get to keep them for free. After a few hours, you'll not only gain dozens of iconic cars, but a deeper insight into their history and why they're loved the world over. There's optional difficulty settings you can tweak if courses are giving you a hard time. Racing lines and braking indicators can be turned on to show you the optimum places to turn and slow down. But these can feel quite hand-holdy and are mainly placeholders to show you the track before you put in the hours yourself. And once you do master the hard yards and start internalizing how to take turns, you can begin stringing together corners like combos in a fighting game, creating an unbelievably satisfying sense of flow and speed to keep you in first place. Gran Turismo 7 manages to perfectly combine everything I look for in a racing game. Accurate and beautifully crafted car models, and a gamut of difficult courses that challenge you to be better. Despite problems with microtransactions and a grindy start, the driving experience and free campaign cars were enough to keep me hooked for weeks. Play.